Insecurities about your singing voice. You even stated that you knew you weren't the vocal favorite of Destiny's Child. Is that something that, what made you second guess?
You know what? It's not that I was second guessing. I'm just aware. You know, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's stuck. They said it stuck with her. No, it didn't stick with me. You know, just sometimes you're aware that you're not everybody's favorite. And that's okay. I still got paid.
Okay. Let them know.
Yeah, I can challenge Jay Z.
Yeah.
Psych. That boy's got too much skills for me, buddy. Nope.
You know, we
can rap.
We can flow so well, you know. We're gonna put out Destiny's Child album, Rapology, you know.
Yeah, I can challenge Jay Z.
Yeah.
Psych. That boy's got too much skills for me, buddy.
Kelly Rowland's name is once again swirling in controversy as a wave of rumors has reignited one of entertainment's most persistent stories. For years, whispers have circulated suggesting she might be one of the so-called Beckies with the good hair, referenced in pop culture conversations. And now, new claims are throwing gasoline on the fire.
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
A recently leaked film reportedly alleges that Jay Z shared an intimate encounter with Kelly years ago, sending social media into overdrive with speculation and heated debates about what really happened behind the scenes. But that's not all. Observers online have gone even further, pointing to Kelly's son, Titan, and claiming that the child bears a striking resemblance to Jay Z. The theory gaining traction is that Titan allegedly looks more like Jay Z than the man publicly recognized as his biological father. This speculation has fueled deeper conversations about potential hidden relationships and unanswered questions. The whole situation is dripping with suspicion.
Your father, I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now. And she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay Z. And I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, that.
And the internet is treating it like a puzzle that might finally be coming together. Adding more layers to the story, fans have resurfaced some of Kelly's older lyrics, ones filled with undertones of jealousy and competition with Beyonce. These verses are now being dissected under a new lens, with many suggesting they might reveal long-hidden feelings or hint at a complicated history within their circle. What began as casual gossip has transformed into a full-blown investigation across online communities, with people connecting dots and drawing bold conclusions. The conversation reached another level when people started openly questioning whether Kelly Rowland and Jay Z's relationship extended beyond friendship. Initially, the chatter focused on their chemistry and uncanny similarities. But everything shifted once accusations emerged claiming Jay Z had children outside of his marriage. These allegations, combined with the resurfaced rumors, have intensified scrutiny on his past, and the story is now spiraling into one of the most discussed controversies in celebrity circles. Ramir Satterthwaite became a widely discussed figure several years ago after publicly claiming that Jay Z had manipulated the legal system to avoid taking a paternity test. A test that, according to Ramir, could have confirmed once and for all that he is Jay Z's biological son. Ramir has stated that he first learned about the possibility of their connection when he was just 8 years old. As soon as he turned 18, he began pursuing contact with Jay Z, hoping either to build some kind of relationship or at the very least secure a court-ordered DNA test to resolve the question definitively. However, Ramir alleges that Jay Z never responded to his attempts at communication. Even more concerning, he claims that Jay Z used his wealth and influence to block his legal efforts. preventing a judge from compelling him to take the paternity test. In emotional statements, Ramir has spoken openly about the toll this battle has taken on him, saying, "You're my father. I really believe that. And if you're not, then why can't you just prove me wrong? It's not even about proving me wrong anymore. Just go to court and do what anyone else would have to do." Ramir continued, "You don't have to prove anything to me. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can accept a no. I can accept being embarrassed if that's how it ends. I've been through a lot in my life, and I can take that. But what I can't take is silence. That's not fair." He explained that he was just 7 when his mother first sat him down to share the truth, believing he was old enough to understand. "She told me his name was Sean Carter," Ramir recalled, "before she even started calling him Jay Z. I didn't really know who that was at the time because I was so young. I had my little brother, and I wasn't even thinking about it like that." This emotional story has resurfaced repeatedly in recent years, adding even more fuel to the ongoing speculation about Jay Z's alleged secret children. And with Ramir's claims still unresolved, many are now questioning whether there are deeper truths behind the headlines. Truths that, if ever confirmed, could dramatically reshape public perception of one of music's most influential figures. Ramir has spoken about how, as a child, he didn't fully grasp the weight of what his mother was telling him. "She kept saying it over and over," he recalled. "But at that age, I was just focused on the person in front of me, the one raising me, taking care of me day to day. I wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was saying, even though she constantly reminded me, 'Son, that's your father.'" Reports claim that Jay Z and Ramir's mother, Wanda, first crossed paths in 1992. At the time, Jay Z, then known by the street name Rock, was 22 years old, while Wanda, known by nicknames Carmel or Precious, was just 16. The two were introduced by Wanda's friend Keisha Allen during a meeting at a restaurant in Philadelphia.
The typical stage mother who's there all of the time, interfering, meddling.
I hear the comment all the time, "God, you are nothing like I heard you were. You are really a nice person."
This is where the story becomes far more complicated and controversial. According to legal filings, including a 2015 court document submitted in New Jersey, Wanda alleged that she and Jay Z had a brief sexual encounter at her aunt's apartment in Brooklyn. She claimed they used protection, but it broke during the encounter, which ultimately resulted in her pregnancy with Ramir. Wanda stated that she did not see Jay Z again until roughly a year later, by which point he had achieved fame on television and in the music industry. When she attempted to contact him, Wanda said he ignored her completely and refused to take responsibility for the child. Determined to establish the truth, she repeatedly tried to take Jay Z to court and compel him to undergo a paternity test. Despite her persistence, every attempt was unsuccessful, and the legal battle dragged on for years without resolution. Tragically, Wanda passed away in 2019 at just 43 years old due to heart failure, leaving many unanswered questions behind.
Insecurities about your singing voice. You even stated that you knew you weren't the vocal favorite of Destiny's Child. Is that something that, what made you second guess?
You know what? It's not that I was second guessing. I'm just aware. You know, some people are like, "Oh my gosh, it stuck." They say it stuck with her. No, it didn't stick with me. You know, just sometimes you're aware that you're not everybody's favorite. And that's okay. I still got paid.
Okay.
Before her death, she had continued fighting for acknowledgement on behalf of her son, but the courts never compelled Jay Z to participate in testing. In her later years, Wanda's declining health made it impossible for her to continue caring for Ramir. The unresolved nature of their story, combined with the serious allegations about their initial encounter, has fueled ongoing conversations about accountability, power, and the lengths to which public figures might go to shield their personal lives from public scrutiny. After Wanda's passing, custody of Ramir was granted to his godmother, Lily, who continued to fight for answers and accountability. Determined to see the situation resolved, she pushed for Jay Z to acknowledge his alleged son and take responsibility. And while many assumed her efforts went nowhere, the story took an unexpected turn, because according to Lily, Jay Z didn't completely ignore them at first. She claimed there was a period when he raised their hopes, even having his team reach out as if he was finally ready to do the right thing. But just as optimism started to build, everything changed. Jay Z's communication abruptly stopped, and the family was left in silence once again. Lily revealed details of that brief interaction, explaining, "I got a call from his in-house lawyer, and they were very helpful. We truly believed we were going to resolve this privately. They even spoke about Ramir's musical talent and discussed whether it would be a good idea to sign him to Jay Z's label, but they said he needed to finish high school first, and I told them no. However, that promising beginning took a drastic turn when new lawyers suddenly stepped in. Their tone and approach shifted completely, and Lily believes they realized there was far more at stake than initially thought, especially because of the sensitive details surrounding Wanda's age at the time of her alleged encounter with Jay Z. Many observers agree with Lily's assessment, suggesting that Jay Z's reluctance to publicly address the situation may stem from the fact that Wanda was reportedly just 16 when she became pregnant. It's important to note that Wanda never pursued legal action against Jay Z for misconduct. Her intentions, according to those close to her, were far simpler. She only wanted her son to have a chance to meet his father and know the truth about where he came from. Despite that, the silence has persisted, and the case remains unresolved years later. Adding another layer to the controversy, speculation continues to swirl online about whether Jay Z may have fathered additional children outside of his marriage. One particularly persistent rumor points to the alleged resemblance between Jay Z and Titan, Kelly Rowland's son, with many noting that the likeness is difficult to ignore. This ongoing speculation, combined with Ramir's story and the unanswered questions surrounding Wanda, has fueled debates about responsibility, power, and the lengths public figures might go to keep certain chapters of their past hidden. As of now, the truth remains uncertain, but the calls for answers are louder than ever. To fully understand the situation, it's important to rewind to 2014, a pivotal year in this tangled web of speculation. That year, Kelly Rowland married Tim Weatherspoon, and together they welcomed their first child, Titan. But 2014 wasn't just significant for Kelly's personal life. It was also the year of one of the most infamous celebrity moments of the decade, Solange Knowles' explosive confrontation with Jay Z in an elevator, while Beyonce silently watched. The reason behind Solange's outburst was never officially revealed, but several theories have circulated ever since. One of the most discussed explanations is that Beyonce and Solange had discovered Jay Z's alleged involvement with Kelly. The theory suggests that while any betrayal would have been damaging, targeting someone considered part of their inner circle, especially Beyonce's childhood friend, was a blow that cut far deeper. Allegedly, Solange couldn't contain her anger, and that elevator incident was the result. In typical Carter family fashion, a carefully worded public statement followed, insisting that everything was fine and that they remained a united, happy family. Yet many observers doubted that narrative. Evidence of unresolved tension surfaced 2 years later when Beyoncé released a groundbreaking album that many interpreted as a direct response to Jay Z's betrayal. The project, filled with raw emotion and lyrical jabs, laid bare the pain, humiliation, and disappointment she experienced, most notably in the track Sorry. It was on that same album that the now iconic Becky with the Good Hair line appeared, sparking one of pop culture's longest-running debates. For years, fans speculated about who Becky might be, with names like Rita Ora and Rachel Roy frequently mentioned. Yet one theory that caught many off guard was the suggestion that Kelly Rowland herself could have been the person referenced, a possibility that few anticipated, but that has since gained traction in certain circles. Supporters of this theory argue that there are simply too many coincidences to ignore. The timeline, the dynamics within their circle, and the context of events like Solange's elevator confrontation all align a little too neatly. While nothing has ever been confirmed, the speculation continues to fuel conversations about betrayal, loyalty, and the complexities of relationships within one of entertainment's most powerful circles. And if there's even a shred of truth to these claims, it would represent one of the most shocking and personal scandals the industry has ever seen. According to circulating rumors, the situation behind the scenes may have been even more explosive than anyone initially believed. It's been alleged that Solange discovered Kelly was pregnant, and that there was speculation the father could be either Jay Z or her own husband. Reports claim Solange first grew suspicious after allegedly witnessing Jay Z in a compromising situation with Kelly. From that point on, the trust between the women reportedly fractured beyond repair. What made matters worse, insiders claim Kelly showed little remorse for what had happened, which may have permanently damaged her relationship with Beyonce. Some believe the public saw only a carefully constructed version of events, while behind the scenes tension and resentment were boiling over. The theory suggests that Beyoncé and Kelly were forced to maintain appearances to protect their public image and prevent the media from uncovering the real drama. And if the rumors are even partially true, the potential fallout would have been catastrophic. After all, it's one thing to be accused of infidelity, but having a child with your spouse's childhood friend would take betrayal to another level entirely. Jay Z, of course, has long been dogged by accusations of infidelity, many of which he has never publicly addressed in detail. Over the years, he's been linked to numerous women, with some reports alleging that he maintains a network of women, a so-called harem, in various cities whom he financially supports and flies out to meet. These allegations have fueled countless tabloid headlines and kept speculation alive about the true nature of his private life. One particularly memorable rumor from several years ago involved Solange allegedly catching Jay Z trying to give his phone number to another woman while dining at a restaurant. That woman was later identified as Liv, a model and rapper, who eventually came forward with her version of the story. According to Liv, the encounter escalated quickly when Solange unexpectedly appeared. Solange came walking up out of nowhere, Liv recalled. I thought I was about to get my butt whooped, so I backed off quickly. She's been guarding her sister's property since day one. These kinds of stories, whether exaggerated or not, have built a picture of deep-seated mistrust, betrayal, and resentment within one of music's most powerful families. And if even a fraction of these allegations are true, it paints a far more complex and volatile picture of the relationships behind the Carter Empire. One that may never be fully understood by the public, but continues to fuel speculation and controversy to this day. Beyoncé doesn't even need to speak. Solange's presence alone is enough to make her point. Liv herself admitted as much, recalling that she barely escaped a confrontation that day. Solange is a beast, she said. I can't believe I dodged a whooping from her. She was the reason I walked away. She gave me a look of death. It was terrifying. The encounter clearly left a lasting impression, but the drama didn't end there. Liv later released a track titled Sorry, Mrs. Carter, which many interpreted as a direct apology to Beyoncé for getting involved with Jay Z in the first place. The lyrics were laced with arrogance and bold admissions. One line declared, "Your man, he likes model chicks. He likes all naturally flawless model chicks like me." Another went even further. "We're attracted like some magnets. Us crossing paths was no accident. When I stepped out of his life, I took a piece of his heart. I know he still closes his eyes and sees me in the dark." These lyrics only fueled speculation further and were seen by many as confirmation of what had long been rumored, that Liv was far from the only woman involved with Jay Z. She was just one example of what insiders claim is a long list of women tied to the rapper. Among the most persistent rumors is the claim that Jay Z had an on and off relationship with Foxy Brown dating back to the early years of his career, a connection that some allege is still ongoing. Reports have circulated that he's financially supported her for years and even keeps her on his payroll. Foxy has publicly lashed out when people suggest she and Jay Z are romantically linked, but many believe her strong reactions only add credibility to the speculation. And then there's the most explosive rumor of them all, that Kelly Rowland's alleged involvement with Jay Z may have initially started as a calculated move of revenge against Beyoncé. According to long-standing speculation, Kelly harbored feelings of resentment and jealousy over Beyoncé's rising star. Back in Destiny's Child's early years, the group wasn't an immediate success. They struggled with slow sales, frequent losses in competitions, and even the loss of their first record deal. That professional frustration, some claim, may have fueled deeper personal resentment. This alleged dynamic paints a picture of betrayal, not just in a romantic sense, but within a friendship that had once seemed unbreakable. If true, Kelly's involvement with Jay Z would represent far more than just another chapter in his long history of rumored affairs. It would be a deeply personal strike in a rivalry rooted in ambition, jealousy, and resentment. And while none of these allegations have been confirmed, they continue to shape public perception, fueling endless debates about loyalty, betrayal, and the tangled relationships behind the music industry's most powerful figures. Everything changed for Destiny's Child when Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, stepped in as their manager. Once he secured a record deal with Columbia Records, the group's trajectory shifted overnight. Under Matthew's relentless management style, the girls honed their talents, sharpened their stage presence, and transformed into polished performers ready for superstardom. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's mother, Tina Knowles, became deeply involved behind the scenes, styling their hair, curating their looks, and even hand-designing many of their iconic performance outfits. The Knowles family essentially built the foundation of the group's success from the ground up, but not everyone thrived under that tight-knit family influence. Reports from insiders claim that Kelly Rowland in particular struggled with Matthew's intense involvement. Allegations surfaced suggesting that Matthew often treated Kelly differently because of her darker complexion. According to multiple accounts, he would dismiss her creative contributions, repackage her ideas as Beyoncé's, and even dictate that she wear less glamorous outfits than her bandmates to ensure Beyoncé remained the visual centerpiece. Although Beyoncé was too young to directly control her father's decisions, the group members were old enough to notice the unequal treatment. And while she may not have orchestrated it, Beyoncé reportedly never stepped in to defend Kelly. On the contrary, rumors suggest that she quietly benefited from Matthew's favoritism, solidifying her position as the group's undeniable star, while the other members, including Kelly, were pushed to the background. This imbalance created deep tension behind the scenes. Over time, resentment began to fester within the group, especially between Kelly and Beyoncé. Sources claim Kelly eventually realized that as long as she remained part of Destiny's Child, she would never fully step out of Beyoncé's shadow or achieve the recognition she believed she deserved. That realization planted the seeds of independence and fueled her desire to pursue a solo career. When Destiny's Child finally disbanded, the breakup was framed as a mutual decision to explore individual ambitions. But those close to the situation insist there was more to the story, that internal conflicts, jealousy, and feelings of being overlooked played a major role in the split. Once the group dissolved, both Beyoncé and Kelly embarked on solo paths, quickly becoming two of the most prominent R&B figures of their generation. Yet, the scars from those early years, the favoritism, the resentment, and the power dynamics within Destiny's Child would continue to shape their relationship and fuel speculation about the real reasons behind their complicated history. After Destiny's Child disbanded and each member pursued their own career, Matthew Knowles allegedly continued to exert influence, and not in Kelly Rowland's favor. Reports claim that he actively worked behind the scenes to block or redirect potential deals meant for Kelly, steering them toward Beyoncé instead. This alleged interference made it difficult for Kelly to establish herself as a solo artist, and over time, the frustration and resentment began to boil over. By 2013, Kelly had clearly reached her breaking point. Her album Talk a Good Game became a deeply personal project that many fans interpreted as a direct response to years of emotional and professional struggles. On the track Dirty Laundry, she opened up about feeling trapped in a toxic relationship and wrestling with feelings of inadequacy, even admitting jealousy toward Beyoncé's success. The raw honesty of the song earned critical praise, with many calling it her most vulnerable work. But it also sparked intense speculation about who she was really referring to. Listeners quickly began dissecting the lyrics, trying to match them to known figures from Kelly's dating history. However, none of her past partners seemed to fit the description of the man she described. One ex-boyfriend even publicly denied being the subject of the song, which only fueled more rumors. The most explosive theory? That the mysterious man might have been a high-profile secret lover, possibly someone whose identity would have caused massive controversy if revealed. This led many to revisit long-circulating speculation about Kelly and Jay Z's alleged connection. Rumors intensified when claims surfaced that the two had been spotted together discreetly, with some even pointing to alleged 4K footage as potential evidence. If such footage were ever authenticated, it could confirm suspicions Beyoncé has reportedly harbored for years and ignite a scandal that would send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. With all of this swirling around, many observers continue to question the truth behind these long-standing allegations. Was Jay Z truly the man referenced in Kelly's song? Was their rumored secret relationship the root cause of the tension between Kelly and Beyoncé? And did jealousy and betrayal permanently damage a friendship once thought to be unbreakable? One thing is clear: the unanswered questions keep the speculation alive, and the story continues to evolve with each new rumor and revelation. As whispers of hidden romances, professional sabotage, and shattered friendships refuse to fade, The narrative surrounding Kelly, Beyonce, and Jay Z remains one of the most explosive and intriguing sagas in music history. And if even a fraction of these claims ever turn out to be true, the fallout would undoubtedly rewrite everything we thought we knew about their complicated history.